6, Tony Adams. David Rocastle at 7. 8, Ian Wright. 9, David O'Leary. Paul Merson is 10, and Kevin Campbell at 11. So George Graham has reverted to the sweeper system, with O'Leary playing behind central defenders Bold and Adams. But the big surprise, Alan Smith, top scorer in his 4 previous seasons at Arsenal, is dropped. Kevin Campbell takes his place. But now Leeds United, they have John Lukic in goal. 2, though playing up front, Eric Cantona. 3, Tony DeRigo back after injury. 4, David Batty. 5, Chris Fairclough. 6, Chris White. At 7, Gordon Strachan. 8, Rod Wallace. Number 9, Lee Chapman. 10, Gary McAllister. And 11, Gary Speed. Tactical changes also made by Howard Wilkinson. The versatile Speed will play at left back. Strachan also switches to the left, and Wallace will operate as a winger on the right. Today's referee is Mr. Martin Bodenham from Cornwall. Substitutes today, Anders Limpar and Ray Parler. On the Arsenal bench, John Newsom and Steve Hodge for Leeds. Well, when they met here a year ago, it was Arsenal going for the League Championship and Leeds United bidding for a place in Europe. The roles reversed today, and Leeds will go 4 points clear of Manchester United if they can win here. Very windy day, as I'm sure it is throughout Britain, but the pitch here in beautiful condition. And it looks as though it'll be Leeds United, all in yellow, to get the match underway, attacking from right to left. Leeds on 67 points, but Manchester United, after today, will still have those 2 games in hand. Arsenal, of course, in the famous red and white. Strachan appearing on the left today instead of his usual position on the right of Leeds United's midfield. John Lukic in goal. Spent 7 years at Highbury and won a league championship medal back in 1989. DeRigo's header. And he finds Chapman with the throw. Dixon's clearance. The wind is with Arsenal, incidentally, in the first half. Here's Ian St John.
Well, we were led to believe that DeRigo would play right back and Speed left back, Alan, before the game, but we see here that DeRigo, in fact, has lined up at left back.
And here he is in possession. Turned forward by White. Chapman finding McAllister. Good-looking ball for Batty, but Dixon read it well. Leeds United's throw. And flicked on dangerously. The linesman had flagged. In fact, Fairclough got a good header on then, and there was a boot that went up high, which has caused this injury. In fact, the linesman immediately flagged anyway, so had a goal or something similar resulted, it would not have counted. Winterburn going in bravely and got a clout in the face for his troubles. Gary Lewin, the Arsenal physio, straight on.
I think it was Rodney Wallace that caught him there, but it was a lovely flick on again, a move that obviously Leeds work on quite a lot. There's a throw in, there was a top on. As Rodney Wallace trying to hook it into the net, and just caught him in the face.
Brave header from Winterburn. And George Graham anxious to see that he's back on his feet, and he is. George Graham knowing that Arsenal can still play a leading part in the destination of the Championship this season and force themselves into European contention. Batty under pressure from Rocastle did well. Oh, and turned forward, it was almost disastrously short from Chris White. Bit fortunate to get away with that. Lukic kicking against the wind here, remember, in the first half. Still got a lot of distance, though, onto Chapman's head. Cleared by O'Leary. Mercer, taken off him by Batty, who has it again. Played in behind Speed. Arsenal's throw. Since the 1st of January, incidentally, Arsenal have lost only once in 11 league games, a 2-0 defeat at Liverpool, and they've gone 7 matches without defeat before today. Here's Campbell, great opportunity for him. Rocastle, Adams. Looking to play Dixon in with a magnificent ball. If it holds up, no, it's spinning off the wet turf. Well, there's Alan Smith, dropped for the first time in his Arsenal career.
Well, Alan this year, funnily enough, hasn't been as regular a goal scorer as in previous years. And of course, as Ian Wright has come to the club, it's been a case, I think, of two players going for maybe the same space in the box. Alan going for the same ball, and Wright's been the guy that's getting the goals. Alan is not. I think that's the reason George has left him out.
McAllister for Leeds United. That was a bit short, and Winterburn got in ahead of Gary Speed. Hillier's header. Nice layoff from Wright. And Speed gets back to clean things up for Leeds United. He's played all over the place this season. Right back, left back, midfield, central striker. O'Leary's clearance. Merson. Knocked forward by Winterburn. And away again by Fairclough. This is Rocastle though for Arsenal. It's a good ball to Adams. Big space opens up for Adams. Away by White. Hillier on to Campbell. He's onside. Cleared by Wallace, but Winterburn wins it back. A good determined start to the game by the home side.
Arsenal have played all their best stuff that I have ever seen in the last few years, playing this formation, Alan. You know, they really have perfected it and played well and won the championship twice with it.
Here's Adams. Easy interception for Tony DeRigo, back after missing the last 4 games with a knee injury. Bowles clearance. Hillier finding Rocastle, a bit fortunate too. Adams. Campbell chasing in here behind the central defenders, and that's one of the main reasons that George Graham's put him in today. His pace, he thinks, will trouble Fairclough and White. Dixon. Merson given away to Strachan. And a free kick for a foul by Wright and Rocastle, the combined forces to defeat Strachan illegally.
Little Gordon's playing sort of wideish on the left here, obviously looking after Dixon. You know, whenever Arsenal have the ball, it's his job to, you know, come back and pick up Dixon, make sure he doesn't get on those forward runs.
Chris White with the Leeds United free kick. Totally wasted effort that was. It's going to be difficult though, of course, for players to judge the long passing game and free kicks like that today in this very strong wind. Leeds United have failed to beat Arsenal in 7 league and cup matches since they returned to the First Division, and haven't won in the league here at Highbury for 12 years now. Merson doing well. Hillier in strong. Campbell, Hillier again, and a good ball for Winterburn on the left. Merson takes over. Hillier. Could have been a dangerous cross, Batty read it well. McAllister gets it away. O'Leary straight back in, headed on by Hillier. Steve Bolt. O'Leary takes over and hits the long ball, looking for Campbell, and Campbell prevents it going for a goal kick. Scored both the goals against Leeds United here last season, a result which really helped Arsenal's championship cause, coming as it did in almost exactly the same week, in fact, last year. by Chapman was useful, but Winterburn defended well. I would imagine David Seaman will get a prodigious distance with this kick, aided and abetted by the strong wind. Clough met it well though, and Dorigo calmly finding his own goalkeeper. Lukic wisely decided to use as much of the pitch as he can here against the wind. Wallace taken off him by Hillier. Merson. Rocastle turning it back on. Wright and Merson. That was a sweet move till that moment. Cantona beaten to it by O'Leary. Batty. Hillier doing well. Wright with a little downward header back to him. And Batty flew in to take it off Winterburn. Rocastle finding space in the middle. O'Leary. Adams. He was under pressure straight away then, Adams from Strachan, and knocked his intended pass out of play. Leeds United's throw. Cantona. O'Leary in quickly to beat him though. Batty. Good decision by the referee. Strachan. Terrific ball. Speed on the right. Getting forward well. Could have been dangerous, but Bold was the only one who reacted. Merson, poor layoff, straight to Strachan. Good ball for Cantona, and they've got three players forward here. Arsenal really stretched. Cantona looking for Chapman near post, and it was a marvellous clearance by Tony Adams that denied Leeds United's leading scorer.
But you know, it was Tony Adams actually that played everybody onside in the first place here. Lovely little ball there played through by Gordon Strachan, and it was Tony Adams who was back there, and for once there the formation wasn't working because O'Leary was lost.
Strachan's corner kick, and all too easy for David Seaman. Strange throw out by the Arsenal keeper. Yes, it was ironic in that attack that although Arsenal got that extra player in the back in David O'Leary, Leeds actually had two players unmarked on the far post in that attack. And he was one of them, Wallace, finding Strachan. Cleared again by O'Leary. Wallace taken off him. Merson turning it on. Right. Oh, that's beautiful play, isn't it, by Strachan? He knew exactly what he was doing. And finds Chapman. With a lovely little touch on O'Leary. Only just got there ahead of Lee Chapman. This is Dixon. A wasted ball, really. And Leeds looking strong at the back at the moment. White in possession. Oh, that was a strange ball indeed. Winterburn wanted to take the throw quickly and gets it back now from Merson. Winterburn again. Rocastle. Dixon. Cleared by Dorigo. O'Leary. Bold. for Campbell, but again it was overhit. It's interesting actually, Ian, this is one of the smallest pitches in the Football League here at Arsenal, and when you've got a windy day as well, those 50-yard passes have got to be very accurate, haven't they?
Well, you've got a small pitch, you've got a windy day, and you've got two teams who look as if they want to play it long rather than short, Alan, and at the moment it's not making for much of a game. The midfield is so congested because of the fact that the full-backs are pushed in, Leeds have got wide players in there as well, and the whole middle of the field is just blocked up, so they're trying to knock it over the top, and as I say, it doesn't really make for a good game.
Winterburn. Hillier. It's good play offside. Ian Wright in an offside position. Scored in each of his last 4 games, Ian Wright. Wallace for Leeds United. Batting. Turned on by Speed. That's good defending again by Arsenal. Speed. Hit long for Batty to chase, but he had no real hope.
You see how Winterburn was so quick onto Speed there. You know, the left back of Arsenal right up there, hard on the right back of Leeds United. And that's the way it's going out in the flanks here. It's so congested there as well. There's very little room for attack and play down the flanks.
Yes, both managers have approached this match in a very tactical frame of mind. And at the moment, they're cancelling each other out, these teams. Dixon, under pressure from Strachan. Adams. Dorigo's clearance goes straight back to the Arsenal man. Dixon got the deflection off Dorigo. It's an Arsenal throw. Good running by Wright. Tried to lose White. Couldn't do so. Dorigo. The back heeler picked up by Rocastle. Dorigo not giving him any room. Slides it in instead to Wright. And again, Leeds United slammed the door. Well, these sides met 4 times in the FA Cup last season. There was very little between them then. Arsenal eventually winning, and I think there's going to be very little between them again today. McAllister for Leeds United. Cantona gives it in back. It was a good return ball. Fine tackle by Adams. An Arsenal break with Merson. It's a good ball for Wright if he can get there. No, just too far ahead of him. Mind you, Dorigo's one of the quickest around. Strachan. It's a useful ball as well. Adams got there once more. Cantona takes over. And Dixon in first ahead of Chapman. David O'Leary gives it straight to Gary Speed. Adams in with another fine sliding tackle, but Rocastle challenges Wallace, and the referee has signalled a throw in, I think. Trevor Francis watching in our studio. A real tactical battle so far, Trevor.
Yes, the only real occasion has been to Leeds. I felt they should have done better when they caught Arsenal trying to push up playing the offside. Strachan released Cantona, and they had 2 against 1 in the box. See, I thought it was wrong selection from Cantona. Chapman made the near post run. If he had played it to the back post to Wallace, he could have had the opportunity to have scored, but it hasn't really settled down yet. Both sides are working really hard to close each other down, but it needs a go, doesn't it?
Certainly does. Batty in possession for Leeds United. Finds Speed. Did well. Turned on offside. As Chapman flicked it through, Cantona in an offside position. rather awkwardly, and Dorigo did well. It's still a throw, but it's a good deal further down the touchline than it might have been. Campbell gives it away to Dorigo. Cantona, McAllister, O'Leary in quickly, back to McAllister and Cantona. Well, that was a good interception by O'Leary and a very important one. On it goes to Campbell, he's offside. It's all being squeezed up into the middle third of the field, Ian, at the moment.
Yeah, it's not very attractive football at all, Alan. Cantona looks to me as if he's settling quite well in the Leeds side. Got some nice touches. Looks to be very aware of what's going on around him.
Starting a game for only the third time and 5 appearances as a substitute, the Frenchman. Strachan. Speed. In it goes early towards Chapman on the far post, and Dixon did really well then. Not so well with the pass.
See, that's awful, that. I mean, he did ever so well in his own box, but his use of it was ridiculous.
20 minutes gone here, still Arsenal 0, Leeds United 0. The reigning champions Arsenal against one of their pretenders to the crown, Leeds United. Dorigo over Chapman's head. Hold to O'Leary. Back via the same route and on to Winterburn. That's a good ball. Campbell, Wright making ground for him. Merson, good tackle by Gary Speed. Hillier and Rocastle combining well in the middle of midfield. Did well, young Hillier, and then third club, the extra defender Leeds needed. Here's Strachan. Foul by Adams. White. Dorigo. Headed away by O'Leary to Campbell. Turned on first time for Merson. Good first time football as well. Ian Wright. 3 forward for Arsenal here. Wright goes alone. And in the end it took 2 of Leeds' central defenders to deny him.
There was a bit of a chance there, you know, because he had a one-on-one with Chris White, and if I had quite the twist and the turning a bit there, but I think if he'd gone right on his right foot, he might have got a shot on Allen.
McAllister for Leeds. Wallace. This is Speed. McAllister again. It's an excellent run. Wallace on the right. Winterburn's challenged, but it breaks for Batty. And now Speed. Leeds have got a lot of players in Arsenal's half here. That's excellent play by Gary Speed. 2 in the middle for the cross, which was a bit too flat, and enables Steve Bold to knock it away, though at the expense of a corner.
Did well, Gary Speed, but again coming down on his right foot, Alan, not his strong one. He was just like making sure it sort of came into play. But had it been down the left and on his left foot, I'm sure he'd have picked somebody out. But Leeds look a more competent team at the moment, don't they? They seem to be controlling the game a bit better.
And they're dangerous from corners. Wallace heading that one back in, and it was a marvellous overhead kick by Cantona, was it, or Speed? Couldn't quite see in that throng of players. Speed, I think. And the whistle had gone anyway, I believe. The referee seemed to signal a free kick, although Seaman spotted it up for a goal kick, so this is a chance. Spectacular, but well wide. Away by Fair Club. Merson. Offside. linesman flagged. At the moment, Merson played the ball. Arsenal's revival has come about really since they went out of the European Cup to Benfica. They had a dodgy couple of matches immediately after that, but they've picked up considerably since. And they've won 4 of their last 6 league games. As Chapman heads it through to give them a problem which O'Leary dealt with. Dorigo. Good ball, Chapman to McAllister. Well, he doesn't need me to tell him. That wasn't too clever. Leeds United coming here as leaders, of course, in only their 2nd season back in the First Division after 8 years in Division 2. And I'm sure our younger viewers may not remember that in the 60s and 70s, Leeds were one of the great teams, winning the league twice, runners-up 5 times, 4 FA Cup finals, 5 European finals, their magnificent record. Speed. Wallace. Good challenge from Winterburn. Leeds get the throw, though. 20 minutes remaining in the first half. Still 0-0. Chapman beaten to it by Bold. And Arsenal in possession with Merson. Campbell on the left. That's a dangerous ball because Strachan was reading it. Adams with an up and under, just to clear his lines, basically. Winning it. Needs somebody to get the ball down on the ground. Cantona's the man, and he looks for Wallace. David Seaman alive and alert to the danger. And a good early kick, touched on by Wright. Campbell had just moved from the left to the right of him, otherwise he would have been in the clear. George Graham has moved from his seat in the director's box to the touchline. Normally he doesn't do that until the second half, so perhaps he's got a tactical point to make. Both managers very cagey about giving their teams out before the match today in order to try and counteract whatever the other was going to attempt. Useful looking free kick that, but too deep again. It's usually the wind that's causing this overhitting O'Leary's free kick, and he's gone over to Gary Lewin. Nothing ominous about that, just a new tie-up needed.
I'm just looking across at George Graham there. You know, he's very agitated about the whole thing. Obviously his team are not performing as well as he would like. I think he wants them to try and lift the tempo of the game, because at the moment, you know, Leeds are the team that looks the most likely to score.
And it comes to Merson. Excellent first-time effort that was. Oh, that is genius play by Paul Merson. He realised he had to hit that straight away. That could well have been one of the most spectacular goals you've seen in a long time. Just wide, though.
Under manager's orders, I think, let's have a few shots at goal. It was a lovely effort too, wasn't it? A beautiful volley, dipping all the way. Very unfortunate. I'd like to see more of this lad getting involved in the game, because I rate Merson as a player. I think he's a terrific player, but I mean, he is playing in this hole in midfield and not really too involved in the game.
Dorigo getting it clear. Adams to Hillier. Now Winterburn. Wallace immediately closes the space down, but Winterburn cleverly getting it round to his left foot again. Dixon won it in the air. Campbell. He's big and strong, Campbell. And he finds Merson well. Back it goes towards Wright. That was a great tackle by Speed. Now Rocastle. Everyone pressed inside the Leeds United half at the moment, apart from David Seaman. Played forward to Dixon. Dangerous here. And it just needed a touch as it sped across the goal mouth. And Arsenal couldn't find anyone to provide it.
Well, I wish George Graham had come down about 20 minutes ago, because he's certainly raised the tempo of the game here. I thought that Lee Dixon there just hit it too hard, Alan, because he had two players in there, but the speed of the ball just took it past both of them.
Gary Speed's picked up an injury. Physio Alan Sutton treating him off the pitch, because that's where he ended up. Lukic has to kind of sidestep him to take the goal kick. Adams. Touched on by Wright. Dixon tried to play it back to him. Goal kick. A lot of people have been saying that Lee Dixon's had a disappointing season. He hasn't missed a game, though. George Graham's picked him for every single match. Under threat, of course, now for his England place from Liverpool's Rob Jones.
I think you have to say to him that he has not played as well this year, Alan. He was very consistent with Arsenal when he won the championship. Very rarely played a bad game and played very well for England. But I think this season, for some reason, his form has dipped a bit.
Gary Speed's come back on, incidentally. Leeds restored to their full complement of 11 as Hillier turns it forward. White lost it and then got it back again. And in fact, the free kick goes to Leeds United, a foul by Ian Wright on Chris White. Quarter of an hour remaining in the first half. Still no goals. Not too many signs of them, in all honesty, so far. One superb effort by Merson. Chapman got there first. McAllister finding Wallace. Hillier got it away. Injured himself in the process, young David Hillier. The ball's still in play, though, with Strachan. McAllister. Hillier fit enough to win it back again. Ian Wright. Excellent play by him. Winterburn. Well, the crowd oohed and awed, and indeed it got a touch on the way, so he got a corner out of that, Nigel Winterburn, but it looked a very optimistic shot. Arsenal's first corner, I think. 31 minutes gone. O'Leary has come forward on the near post, where Bold is as well. Oh, Lukic dropped it. He was a bit fortunate then, the Leeds United goalkeeper. Got both hands to the ball and let it slip, but was quick enough to recover. This game very effectively, squeezing forward all the time, even with a sweeper, and catch so many opposing forwards offside. Campbell won the header. White's clearance, though. Bit awkward for Chapman. Cantona in possession. Lovely close control from the Frenchman. Then Wallace finds Chapman. Cantona in a good position in the middle, but he's offside.
Very tidy play by the Frenchman there, Alan. Shifted the ball around with both feet.
White got it away again. Speed keeps it in. Good header away by Fairclough this time. Arsenal's throw.
Both the Leeds centre-backs are winning all the stuff in there, aren't they? Fairclough and White, very dominant in the air.
Merson's little touch is picked up again by Fairclough, who finds Cantona. On again to Chapman. Poor ball by him, though. And play still getting squeezed up into this really congested midfield. a little bit of room to take on Dorigo. Now Dixon. It was a disappointing cross from Lee Dixon. Here's Strachan. Dixon scrapping to win it back off him. And Batty in characteristically tigerish fashion on Tony Adams. Little David Batty. The only Leeds-born player in the side, curiously. And he was just 6 when they last won the league title back in 1974. Beaten by Fairclough. Batty's there again. There's Dorigo. Give it away to Rocastle. Arsenal win the throw. Dixon will try the long throw here, and he's got plenty of targets. Bold has come forward. So has O'Leary. Goes towards Bold. It was well met by White and then cleared by Batty. Adams playing it straight back in, and the linesman has signalled offside. I think it was Ian Wright on the far side. Well, Ian, we always expected a close game between these two, and that's what we're getting.
Well, actually, we were dreading that it would be like this in a way, you know, because both teams might cancel each other out. We were talking about that before the game and at the start of the game, and that's the way it's happening. We've had like about one chance at either end, haven't we?
Needs a bit of magic at the moment. McAllister beats Hillier to it, but then Arsenal had the extra man in Winterburn. Campbell's little header, away by Fairclough. Adams did well. Dixon. White's met everything so far for Leeds. Dixon in well, offside, Ian Wright. Well, it's a cliche as old as the game itself, but defences are certainly on top at the moment. The central defenders in both sides playing exceptionally well, and there's just no room on the flanks either. We've got a real stalemate here, but it's a match that really Leeds United could do with winning rather than just avoiding defeat in. Manchester United, remember, have the games in hand. Chapman up well. Cantona. Oh, it's a great save! An absolutely brilliant save. That was on its way in. What a wonderful reaction by David Seaman. Those massive hands, he just really snaked out his left arm to that ball and kept it out.
Wonderful skill by Cantona as well, or Cantona. Look at that, on his right foot there, on the volley. Great save.
And headed back towards McAllister. O'Leary got it away. Leeds United's throw. And they have now come the closest we've had yet to a goal. Brilliant goalkeeping by David Seaman to deny them. Chapman. Fairclough still forward. Hillier gets it away. Campbell. Sloppy ball straight to McAllister. Looking for Chapman, who collided certainly with Steve Bold. The linesman, in fact, had a perfect view of that and has said that Chapman was fouling Bold, not the other way around as Leeds were claiming. Winterburn. Throw in. Minutes to go to half-time, still 0-0. Bold with a good header, but Leeds get the throw. Wallace, it's a good ball from McAllister, on it goes to Chapman. Good defending by Adams again. O'Leary, right, on to Rocastle, won back though by Batty, now Wallace. This is Strachan, Dorigo overlapping on the left. This is probably the most players Leeds have had forward at any time in the game just now. But Cantona gives it away. Hilliard's interception. Are they going to pay for having so many players forward, I wonder? Merson, offside again, Ian Wright. It was marginal that time. Wallace. Speed. Chapman. Adams' clearance, not a very good one, straight to Strachan. Good little spell this for Leeds United. White. Winterburn gets it away, but only to McAllister, who gets it back well from Wallace. O'Leary with another up and under clearance. Batty. Speed. Good football, really. Players under pressure. You get no time on the ball in the English First Division. Dorigo. Nice one-touch football. Dorigo is brought down. And that's a free kick. Campbell's foul. 5 minutes just under the first half remaining. We await the first goal. Both sides have come close. Free kick aimed towards Chapman, and it's touchdown to Wallace. Well, if he'd have got any meat behind that shot, it might well have gone in. It took a deflection, and Leeds have a corner. But it certainly had David Seaman scrambling across the goal, Wallace's shot. Just didn't hit it cleanly enough. But Leeds are always a threat in these situations. Strachan with the kick. Headed upwards by Hillier, but he had time to reach his own upward header and find Rocastle. Play by Wright and an excellent challenge from McAllister. Now Speed. Cantona, lovely little back healer, wasn't it? But again, it's defenders who just look that little bit sharper, a little bit quicker and a little bit more determined today. Dixon on that occasion. It went through everybody for a moment, and Lukic relieved to get the ball. Wallace. O'Leary. Winterburn's under pressure here, and Cantona took it off him but fouled him in the process. Well, I think Leeds will be relieved to get to half-time and keep it goalless. They'll have the wind at their backs in the second half. It's often said that it's sometimes more difficult to play with the wind rather than against it. We shall see. Adams for Arsenal. Poor ball, straight to Dorigo. Now Chapman. Batty did well. This looks interesting for Leeds. Well, David Batty's goal-scoring record, it is well known. A couple of goals this year, after 4 years without one at all. And I'm afraid the shot he produced at the end of that fine run underlines why he doesn't come up with too many goals. Only a couple of minutes remaining now in the first half. Batty in possession again. Speed. Wallace. Strange header by Chapman. It's gone straight to Merson, who played it straight back to him. Chapman did well to retain possession for Leeds then. Batty. Wallace. That's a foul by Winterburn. Or Bowl, rather. Winterburn was the covering player just behind him. Free kick already taken to Cantona. Now McAllister. Chapman. McAllister again. Offside. How often have I said that? As it was rifled into the net. Batty knew the whistle had gone.
Maybe Mr. Batty heard you talking about his shooting prowess there. It was a beautiful constructed move. McAllister, an inch perfect pass. Well, debatable. He was coming in from the back.
May not have been Batty himself who was offside. And there have been so many offsides in this game, it's really ruined things. Cantona breaks clear. Incidentally, Ian Wright's down injured at the moment for Arsenal as Cantona tries the chip. It was an intelligent effort in all fairness, because Seaman was a few yards off his line. Ian Wright went down in the previous attack and has stayed down. And the ball's out of play now, so Gary Lewin can come on and weave his bit of magic.
You know, I'd like to see Gordon Strachan playing a little bit more infield, but he's doing a great job for the team, playing wide on the left-hand side here for Leeds, and he's doing a great job making sure that Lee Dixon, you know, doesn't get marauding up that side. But at the same time, he's a real quality player. I mean, every time he gets the ball today, he uses it intelligently. And I think I would like to see him maybe a little bit further infield with somebody else out on the flank, so that little Gordon could start knocking the ball around. Because I think if he was in there, he's such a good little passer of the ball and could see situations that it might be in Leeds' favour if he does that. I mean, he's having a smashing game on the left, but I think he'd be more involved if he was infield a bit.
Smile from Ian Wright. He's okay to continue. 18 goals in 24 games since he moved from Crystal Palace. A marvellous buy. Here he is again. Strachan takes it off him though. McAllister. Wright getting a good foot in again there. Speed. White let it run on to Dorigo. An unusually poor ball from Tony Dorigo. Rocastle. Merson. Beaten to it by Batty now. Clever skill from him. Fairclough. Speed. Got Wallace outside him. On it goes towards Wallace, but it was a great piece of defending by Winterburn. Got in between two Leeds United players and slid the ball accurately back to his keeper. We've had a couple of minutes of stoppage time added already here at the end of the first half. Adams getting it away, Rocastle, and there is the whistle to signify the end of a disappointing half, really, in which the defenders took the honours. There were few real opportunities. One long-range shot which almost found the target by Paul Merson for Arsenal. A fine effort at the other end from Eric Cantona, well saved by David Seaman. We'll be back with you.
Unfortunately, most people who run football clubs don't run them as businesses, and as everybody knows today, the economic climate's really bad and football's suffering. And I believe that if we get it right, that Luton could be, their future could be safeguarded.
What happens if they're not in the Premier Division? You may make made a big mistake.
As far as football is concerned, but then again, you know, they have to have a new stadium. Their lease expires, I think it's in 1994, and I think they're a club that things can be done with.
Thank you.
So the views of Frank Warren on the future of one particular football club and the future for Arsenal and Tony Adams and Leeds United will be decided as far as this match is concerned in the next 45 minutes. Leeds United future vital, of course, if they can stay on top of the First Division. Incidentally, you'll be wondering why the players are wearing black armbands today. That sadly is a mark of respect for the late Jack Kelsey, great Arsenal and the Welsh international goalkeeper who died earlier this week. Dixon turning it on, and White for the umpteenth time wins the header. Chapman finding Strachan, still operating on the left, and a bad ball by him. Winterburn. Wallace got back to rob him. Speed. Wallace again, that's a foul by Rocastle. Takes it quickly. Wallace got round Winterburn. He's got players in the middle as well, queuing up for the cross, which wasn't quite good enough. O'Leary got it away. The back heeler finds Speed. In it goes again towards Chapman, far post. Dixon denying it. It breaks to Fairclough. Now Strachan. Fairclough back again to the Scot, and it was a really driven clearance by Tony Adams. Driven too hard for David Seaman. Leeds get a corner out of it. White, number 6, Lee Chapman, number 9, on the near post. Cantona and Fairclough near the penalty spot. Hillier and Dixon got it away. Cantona chipping it back in again. It was a clever effort. In fact, the linesman has flagged, so had that gone in, it wouldn't have counted. It was a lovely moment of skill from the French international, though.
This big fella has a lot of skill, Alan. We've seen that a couple of times today in the game. And this was a beauty as well, wasn't it? Just had a look to see where everyone was, and a lovely little chip. Hit the crossbar.
The linesman had flagged. Here's Dixon. Campbell touching it on. Away by White, who's won every single thing hurled at him today. And David O'Leary's done pretty well at the other end as well. Seaman, who's now kicking against the wind in this half. Strachan turns it on. Bowles clearance. Now Strachan again. Lovely ball. Speed. On to Wallace. He's got Chapman with him. It was offside. Leeds have consistently fallen into the Arsenal offside trap today.
It is difficult to play against, Alan, because they do work it well, Arsenal, but at the same time the Leeds players are very aware of what they're trying to do, and who knows, they might just catch him out one of these times. But Leeds have come out up to tempo a little bit. They're playing the ball on the ground more, and they're knocking it around, and they do look, they like their side to score.
Touchdown then by Campbell. McAllister got it away. Speed. Straight to Ian Wright. On to Winterburn. That's a good ball for Merson. He's got Campbell and Wright in the middle and drove the cross too hard. Goal kick.
I think that was another case of Arsenal squandering good position, because a lovely little ball, a good run by Merson, who does a lot of good work down the left-hand side. But again, I mean, he thundered that across, didn't he? I mean, that was never a cross for a striker coming in the head. I think it was a half a shot at goal.
Yes, the delivery from the wings has not been of the highest quality today for Arsenal. Speed. Denied by Campbell. Rocastle takes over. On to Ian Wright. Hit first time towards Dixon on the far post, and it was Garrigo who got it away for the corner.
Now that was a better ball, wasn't it? Beautifully floated in there by Ian Wright.
Poor kick. Cantona easily able to clear. It'll go all the way back. Campbell's header finds Dixon. Patty denying him room, but Dixon's got round the back and a useful cross. Two defenders going for the same ball, and Campbell could get no power behind the header, just looped it into John Lukic's hands. Chance coming about almost from nothing then. I think it was the Leeds defenders confusing each other that led to the opening.
Yes, I think that's about the first time really that both centre-backs haven't been decisive, Alan.
Howard Wilkinson down on the touchline, knowing that this is a crucial game for Leeds United. They certainly can't afford to lose, and they really need to win it. Cantona playing it back. George Graham waits and wonders, as we all do, how this very, very evenly balanced game is going to tilt. Speed for Leeds United. Straight at Bull, but wins it back. Batty, offside again. That looked a slightly dubious decision, actually. My initial impression, though I'm not half as well placed as the linesman, was that David O'Leary could have been playing Cantona onside.
I thought even Winterburn might have been playing him on. Certainly the section of the fans who were in line with that seemed to disagree with the linesman.
The ball just went out of play. Throw in to Leeds United. Harry Speed playing it right back for the first time in his career, incidentally, today. He's played just about everywhere else for Leeds. Cantona onto Wallace. Little nudge, was it, by David O'Leary? Certainly a throw, if not that. Throw it is. Cantona. Straight at Dixon. He decides to try his luck, out-sprinting Gordon Strachan. Strachan did pretty well, didn't he, for a guy who was 35?
He didn't out-sprint him, did he? The little fellow was matching him stride for stride there.
Well, I hope when I get to 35, I'm as quick as that.
He loves it, little Gordon. I mean, he really enjoys his football.
I think they're having a little joke about that.
There could be in a Rumbelow sprint at Wembley.
Yeah. White finding Strachan, given away to Hillier. Right, beaten by Dorigo. It's still competitive and rather untidy in the middle of the field. Needs somebody to get a foot on the ball. And that's a foul. And a rather reckless one by Hillier.
David Hillier, we haven't seen much at all, have we, in midfield for Arsenal? He's had a very, very quiet game. He's been anonymous, really. And, you know, normally we see a lot of this boy because he's such a good tackler, wins the ball, but he hasn't get into the game at all.
Would you believe? Lee Chapman this time.
I would think George Graham's got to be thinking about in the second half maybe bringing Limpar on. As I say, Hillier there, the extra man in midfield, he could do with taking somebody off from that area and getting a winger stuck on there, put Limpar on and see if something can happen from that.
Yes, Anders Limpar has a good record, in fact, against Leeds United, and he's certainly got a psychological advantage over them for that reason. I'll be surprised if we don't see him at some stage here. White's clearance finds Cantona. O'Leary used his hand, I think, to control that. Free kick. White's free kick. Hammered towards Speed. Merson with the clearance, but it's straight at McAllister. Speed again. And a bad ball gives Arsenal the break with Merson. McAllister's got back well. And so too a speed now to make up for his initial error. Arsenal get the throw. Winterburn hurling it in towards Bold, who won it well. It's a tremendous effort by Dixon, but he didn't quite connect properly. Had he done so, Arsenal would surely have been in the lead.
He got in the position, Alan, never get any power on it at all, did he? I mean, he's 6 yards out, and really, had he met it with the meat, he's got to score.
At the other end, O'Leary beaten by Cantona, but again, Chapman couldn't reach the knockdown. Playing well, actually. Cantona, some lovely touches, looks dangerous. And for the second time in the opening 10 minutes, David Seaman, the Arsenal goalkeeper, has sliced a kick into the crowd. Strachan for Leeds United. Now McAllister, still 0-0 here in Highbury. Gary Speed. Batty. Asking Strachan to chase. He did, of course. But Bold was always favourite to get there first, and Strachan goes spinning onto the track. He's okay though. Leeds have taken the throw. This is Gary Speed. Now McAllister. Lifted on to Wallace. His control was poor, but so was Winterburn's. Hillier now. White. Fairclough. White. Good ball for Wallace. Batty turning it on first time. Bold underneath it though. White wins it again. Chapman. Batty. Hillier comes out with the ball. Rocastle and Fairclough committed in that challenge, and the Leeds United man just the stronger. Had a couple of seasons down the road at Tottenham Hotspur before he became a Leeds United player. Him and Chris White, nobody ever mentions them in the Leeds United side. They do a marvellous job. They certainly have today. And there's White winning another header. Strachan. Arrigo played it against Dixon. It's a throw to Leeds, therefore. Rocastle. Hillier. Good football by David O'Leary. And it just reared up at the worst moment for Winterburn. That's being kind to him anyway.
It was a testing pass, that wasn't it, from Stevie Bold?
Hillier was strong. Now Merson. Brought down by Batty. The referee will want to have a word with David Batty about that challenge. Refereed this game very sensibly, Mr. Bodenham, so far. Here's Winterburn. Cole's little flick header, but again, no one anticipated it. At least no one from Arsenal. It's been one of those games where you can admire the competitive play, the tenacity of the tackles, the speed of the game, but there hasn't been a great deal of attractive football played. Can Merson change things here? He's got round Gary Speed. The referee says play on again. Another good decision. And Merson finally runs into trouble in the shape of Fairclough. Hillier. Campbell. Hillier again, right in the middle. And another wasted opening for Arsenal. Quarter of an hour gone in the second half. Arsenal have drawn 4 of their last 6 matches here in Highbury, and the way this game has gone, it's easy to see why. the last two have both ended in wins for them. They beat Oldham 2-1 here in their previous home game and thrashed Trevor Francis's side, Sheffield Wednesday 7-1. He won't thank me for reminding him in the game before that. Here's Chapman. And now Wallace. There was a call for offside, and indeed the linesman flagged. The referee has said play on, with Arsenal still in possession. Half an hour to go. Can someone break the deadlock here? Can someone give us a moment of magic? The game badly needs it. Campbell's header. Gary Speed turns away from his own goal and finds Wallace, or should have done, but gives it to Winterburn instead. Campbell, Merson, Patty work hard to win it back. Bergkamp, that's a dangerous ball, and Dorigo saved his embarrassment then. Could have had Leeds United in trouble then, Chris Fairclough. Stuart Houston, number 2 to George Graham, re-emphasising a point to his players. Winterburn taking on speed here, and he's beaten it. No foul given. Just took too long to make the cross. Bergkamp deflected it behind. Leeds feeling that they should have had a free kick anyway.
How often really have Arsenal been in good positions, Alan, today and made nothing of it? That's why I feel now that George Graham has got to do something and bring Lampard on.
The kind of game where you think corners might be the only way of producing a goal here. Bold with the shot, and even a corner couldn't bring about a goal on that occasion anyway.
When they won the championship, Arsenal scored so many goals from corner kicks, didn't they, in set pieces. All the big fellas come up, they're always looking for little scratches. And there was Bold just volleying that one over the top, almost scored with that one. As you say, maybe that's the only way a goal will come today.
Adams winning it back for Arsenal, but now Patty for Leeds. Dorigo. Stuff from O'Leary, and White at the other end makes sure that Leeds keep possession. Had an excellent game, Chris White. His last match, in fact, before he begins a one-game ban for a recent sending off. Began his career here at Arsenal. And wins another header. Winterburn turning it on. Wright was offside. There have been so many offsides in this game. Frustrating sort of match for players, spectators and viewers alike. No doubt the managers are finding it equally so. Cantona gives it away to Bold, who finds Merson. Good ball. Dixon, now he's got a lot of space to attack here. What a disappointing effort by Lee Dixon, because Arsenal had men in the middle. Heading it straight to O'Leary. Adams. Whoa, he's done well here. He looked in trouble about 3 times, but never was. Had to keep going then. "25 minutes to go. White for Leeds United. It's still Arsenal 0, Leeds 0. Strachan, the Leeds captain, beats Campbell. Cantona playing it back. Strachan went down under the challenge, but he's okay.
When little Gordon gets in there, gets a hold of the ball and starts playing a bit of football with his teammates, something might happen. And that, as I say, today he's stuck wide on the left, and I don't feel we're getting the best of him.
Here's Merson for Arsenal. Good ball. Winterburn. In deep to Ian Wright, but it was always favourite for Lukic to collect that one first. And again, when Arsenal have got the ball wide today, they just haven't caused enough problems with the quality of their crossing.
It's been very poor, hasn't it? They haven't delivered at all. I mean, the front two for Arsenal, you know, Wright and Campbell, they've had no service at all, Alan.
Chapman, a fine header to Cantona. Arsenal win it back though. Merson trod on the ball then. He's got away with it. Dixon, Adams, given away to Fairclough. Who in turn gives it away to Winterburn. Rocastle turning it on, Ian Wright's offside. I'm getting tired of saying offside. It's happened so much at either end of the field today.
But well done, the referee allowed Leeds to play on with Gary Speed of the ball. Good decision.
Batty. I'm not even going to say it this time. A free kick for an infringement of the laws. Still no sign of a substitution, although the substitutes are warming up. That's a routine thing, of course. I would have thought Limpar has to be introduced soon if Arsenal want to break the deadlock here. And never has the word deadlock been more appropriate than this game. There's been so little between them, so little in it. And a further offside. Our statistician now reckons that we've had 16 offsides, 8 to each team, or against each team, whichever way you prefer it. And a couple that the referees are let play on as well. Cantona. Good tackle by Campbell. And here he is again. A great solid wall of defenders, either Arsenal or Leeds, have really done their jobs today. Here goes Dorigo. Might take a defender to beat the other defenders, but not with a shot like that, I'm afraid. Neither team have just ever really in this game been able to get to the byline and get the ball into dangerous positions. Gordon Strachan on to Cantona. I still think he's the man who might break things here. Batty. It's a good run by him, but Bold guarded him all the way. It's a corner then. And the huge contingent of travelling Leeds United fans behind the clock end here at Highbury have got something to cheer, albeit only a corner. Can you believe that a player as good as Gordon Strachan can place a corner straight back into the crowd? I suppose that just about sums up the kind of game we've had.
Well, there's not a lot you can say really about this game. One thing, if you played in this game, you need to be a good header of the ball, because it's been in the air more than it's been on the ground.
Finding Cantona. Axel takes it off him and no free kick. 4 forward here for the Arsenal. On it goes to Campbell. And White just got his shin in the way of the shot. Leeds even get the throw. Scored from a similar position, I remember, in last season's game, Kevin Campbell, but not this time.
If I remember last year's game, according to my partner yesterday was telling me, because he was working on it, he said it was a very poor game as well.
It was.
So Kevin Campbell scored 2 goals.
I suppose those who are a bit cynical about the standard of the English First Division at the moment will point to 2 of the top sides here and say, well, that's how it's deteriorated. But in all fairness, I do really think it's just 2 sides who know and respect each other so well. I've seen a lot of very good matches involving Leeds United in particular this season, and especially away from home. They can do a lot better than this. Arsenal just denied them and have been denied themselves today. Cancelled each other out completely so far. Batty gets it back from White. Kept going, didn't he? It took 3 men in the end to dispossess him. Play on again, says the referee, as Hillier whacks it forward. Lukic having to play like a sweeper. And his clearance inevitably finds a Leeds United player offside. Lee Chapman.
You're right enough, Alan, about both sides cancelling each other out, and that's the way it was set up from the beginning. It was always going to be that way. But at the same time, there's been a lot of unforced errors. People who had time, had space, and just, you know, gave a bad ball and kicked the ball into the crowd, or, you know, kicked it to the opposition. And that's the annoying thing about it. You don't mind them losing it when under good play, under a bit of pressure.
Cantona has beaten Bull. 2 against 2. Great play by O'Leary. Leeds still have it. Speed. Wallace. Dangerous. Turned in by Chapman. It had to be. The supreme goal scorer has finally broken the deadlock. 17 minutes to go. Lee Chapman's 19th goal of the season.
Well, it was a lovely little ball play that actually got a deflection there. I think it was off Bold, and there was Big Chapman to knock it in. Let's have a look at it again here, Alan. You can see that was a deflection. Played it into the path, lovely, of Lee Chapman, little side footer. But it all stems, you know, from a tackle way back, just over the halfway line. Winterburn, who's actually having a go at the linesman at the moment, felt that he was fouled, and the play went on from there.
Strachan trying the long shot then. I think Arsenal's suspicious that there might have been a question of offside as well against Chapman. But the goal stands, and Leeds United are in front here. And now that will change the nature of the game, surely. Minutes to go. Arsenal nil, Leeds United 1. Cantona gives it away. Winterburn. Merson. Bergloff's tackle. Free kick. Ian Wright, the player who was fouled. Merson driving it in, that was dangerous, and it was Garrigo who got there to head it behind for a corner. Lukic coming and fisting it away. Winterburn. It was wasn't a bad effort, to be fair, by Nigel Winterburn, as everybody dashed out. He couldn't have afforded to lob it back in. There would have been an offside. He had to go for goal, and he wasn't that far away. Substitution going to be made here now by Arsenal. Young Ray Parlour, the player who's going to come on, the teenager who you saw probably make his debut against Liverpool at Anfield live on the match. Arsenal a goal behind now. Merson turning it on. White gives it away to Campbell. One of the few mistakes he's made today, Chris White. Rocastle fouled by McAllister, takes it quickly. Wright goes down, but there was no suggestion of that being a foul by Speed. I think, to put it politely, Wright was trying his luck. Speed might have a different word for what he tried to do then. Terrific noise from the Leeds United supporters now. Their side one goal ahead in this vitally important game, which can see them go 4 points clear of Manchester United at the top of the first division. If they hold on to win it here, United would still have 2 games in hand. But as has been said a million times in football, you'd rather have the points than the games to play. Causing problems again, and O'Leary with a little back header. Seaman just prevented it going for a corner. Well, certainly I'm sure everyone from Old Trafford would be willing Arsenal on here in the last 13 minutes. Arsenal are going to make their substitution now. In fact, I think it's a double substitution. It is. Rocastle and Hillier coming off. Ray Parlour, the blonde-haired boy, there he is, coming on with Anders Limpard, the Swede.
I feel they've left it a little bit late with them, Alan. I think they could have made that substitution a bit earlier in the second half.
Yes, it's a case of trying to save the game now, and things could be even worse for them. Cantona. Turned it in behind McAllister. Strachan. Leeds seem to have an extra man everywhere now. Visibly lifted by the goal. Chapman. Dorigo wins it back well. Strachan. Knocked forward to Cantona. And he fouled Steve Bold. To go. Arsenal 0, Leeds United 1. Adams' clearance. Holes up in the wind. White gets underneath it. It comes to Wright. He couldn't control it. David Batty could. Gets his first touch, and it's a defensive one. Great shout for handball then, and the referee has also seen it that way. Free kick to Leeds.
I see Leeds United have switched to fullbacks. Dorigo's come over to right back, Alan, obviously to look after Anders Limpard.
There were so many Arsenal players in the middle then. If the cross had been better. Still problems. O'Leary gets a header in, and then Adams kept it in play. An unusual ball, but it's effective. Wright finding Merson, and Merson again. It's the equaliser.
Well, we talked about offside today, and this is one way to beat the offside trap. Go alone. He flicked it up, carried on, and there he was, got on the end of it. I think it was David O'Leary had a little hand to play in that, but a lovely finish. He certainly wasn't offside because there was a Leeds United player just playing him on, just out your picture at the moment. I think it was Lee Chapman.
1-1. The action's come late here, but at least we've got some goal action now. 10 minutes to go. McAllister going forward. Cantona gets it back. No offside given. They've all hesitated. McAllister's shot. And that was an amazing moment. The Arsenal defenders have turned angrily at the linesman, who's been giving offsides so often today. His arm must be sore. But that time the flag stayed down. And I don't think even Leeds United realised that was a great opportunity for them to go back in front. Well, we're getting at least a grandstand finish here. Right for Arsenal. Parla. He could have made a name for himself then, the 19-year-old. But got the shot all wrong. This was the incident at the other end here, where Arsenal were convinced they were going to get an offside decision at that moment.
Unless, of course, you see Nigel Winterburn was coming into the picture there. He may have been the player playing him on side. What we saw through the middle, certainly, Cantona looked to be off, didn't he?
Arsenal 1, Leeds United 1. Still 8 minutes to go. Winterburn wins it. Cantona, now we have got an offside. Chapman.
The Chapman wasn't off there, it was Wallace.
Yeah. We can have another look at the equalising goal here. Lovely play by Merson. O'Leary helping it back to him. Excellent finish.
And you see Chapman as the nearest defender.
Merson's 9th goal this season. Adams comes in to win it. Offside. Offside against Campbell in the middle. Batty winning it well. This is Wallace. Old O'Leary turns it back to Adams and back further still. 7 minutes to go then. Are we eventually to see a winner in a match that's been so evenly balanced throughout? But it's been difficult to see either side gaining the eventual advantage. Here's Campbell. Back into Dixon. Took a chance and didn't get away with it. But wins it back off Strachan. Whistle's gone. It's a free kick to Arsenal. Foul by Strachan on Dixon. The big guns have come forward here for the kick. Stevie Bold, David O'Leary, Tony Adams, the 3 tall central defenders. Dixon's kick will hold up. It's against the wind. And he got there, Adams. Fairclough got it away, though. Winterburn. Dixon knocking it on. Offside. David O'Leary offside, actually. Furthest forward he's been for a while in this game, other than corners and free kicks. Strachan. Encouraging to see, at least after all the stalemate we've suffered today, that both teams are going for the win here, that's clear. Parla. Merson, the goal scorer. In it goes towards Campbell, the long legs of Chris White. Got there first, though. He's given it away. Dixon keeping it in play. White wins the yet another header and finds Strachan. Cantona. It's good play by the Frenchman. Excellent play. Cantona doing so well here. And in the end, it comes to Chapman. And then he's dispossessed. Desperate stuff by Arsenal. Limpar on the break, finds Wright. Limpar continues his run in the middle. And here he is again. Right. Well, the ball never really came to him in the right position. You pardon the pun.
Well, I didn't think it was such a bad ball, Alan, but he might have done better with it. But Limpar did well. You know, I do feel that had he come on earlier, would have lifted the game for Arsenal.
Less than 5 minutes to go. Chapman. Winterburn gets it away. Now Campbell. Merson. Another good tackle by White. Strachan. Batty. Good ball for Chapman. Chance here. Brought down by O'Leary. Free kick to Leeds United. Well, this could be a very dangerous moment for Arsenal. They've got a few players who can get a strike on target here in this situation, have Leeds. You've seen Dorigo score some spectacular free kicks this season, for instance. McAllister has got a heck of a shot on him as well. To name but two in the little posse surrounding the ball here. Dorigo 3, McAllister 10. Seaman knows where the problems will be coming from, but can he do anything about it? It's McAllister! Oh, and he did well, David Seaman. He could do something about it, and he did, because I'm sure that deflected off the wall en route. He got his body behind the ball in textbook fashion. Good goalkeeping.
It was a real rasper of a kick too, wasn't it? McAllister really belted that one. And you're right enough, it did get a deflection, but the big goalkeeper did well.
Offside, meantime. Good header away by Speed, but it's as far as Dixon only. He finds Campbell, who touches it on, but Leeds in control. Ian St John, your nomination for man of the match?
Well, I think Chris White has been outstanding. He hasn't given really the front two of Arsenal a kick at the ball today, along with Fairclough, who I think also played very well. But Chris White hasn't been a foot wrong, and I think he thoroughly deserves the champagne.
As Cantona tries to wriggle through at the other end. Chris White then, the Barclays man of the match. A well-deserved award for the lad born just up the road at Islington, and a former Arsenal player. And Seaman, for the third time in this half, couldn't get the measure of the wind against him and has sliced his kick out of play. Clearance, and White is under it. We're into the last minute. Campbell for Arsenal. It's a good ball. They've got a lot of players in the middle here. Good looking cross, and Lukic with an important save on the near post, because both the substitutes, Limpar and Parla, were coming in at a rate of knots then. Arsenal not finished yet, but Merson with a disappointing ball.
It really hasn't been a day for forwards, Alan, when you're thinking about man of the match, is it? I mean, there's nobody really sparkled in either team in the attacking sense of the word. It's been a tough, hard, dure battle for most of them, and really the defenders on both sides have been the people who have come out on top.
Adams, right. Ooh, another important interception for your man of the match.
Well, he's done that all afternoon. You know, he's intercepted everything, he's headed everything away. It's been excellent.
Gary Speed for Leeds United. Final charge by them, perhaps. Chapman. Dorigo. Nice reverse ball for Wallace. Players to pick out in the box, but he can't get the cross in. 2 good tackles denied him. Winterbank down injured from the second one. And that, in fact, is the end of the match. And it has ended almost inevitably between two teams who know each other so well in a draw. Lee Chapman giving Leeds United the lead with about 7 minutes to go. It looked as though that was going to do it. But Paul Merson came back with the equalising goal. And I think, really, a draw was absolutely the right result. Howard Wilkinson, the Leeds United manager, is in the tunnel now with Gary Newman.
Howard, what are your thoughts about that draw?
Well, we're satisfied with the result, obviously. I thought it was a fair result. I was pleased with the way we controlled the game most of the time. Obviously, when you're away from home against a team like Arsenal, forced to come under some pressure sooner or later. But I thought we did very well. Trifle unlucky at the end there with McAllister's shot.
But because Manchester United have games in hand, that does make it very tight for you now.
Oh, well, it's always been tight. But nice to be tight at the top.
Yes. Thank you, Howard.
Thank you.
Well, Howard Wilkinson there. After the break, we'll be hearing the views of Trevor Francis. And, of course, there's our Goal of the Day competition, so don't go away. Join us again in a couple of moments.